Okay, so welcome back to the tutorials, I guess you could call them. So this is where we left off, kind of with the airplane. We got the windows pretty much in. I went ahead and did a little bit of moving with the mesh afterwards, but I'm pretty happy with it for the most part. It does still look a little odd over on this side. These windows here could probably be rotated a bit, but we'll worry about that once it comes to the finer detailing in the end. So yeah, so we're gonna do the wings. Don't have the best of diagrams for the wings or airfoils, but if you're looking at getting airfoils, you can look up the aircraft type and an airfoil. When I do that with the 787, you basically don't find anything, but something like that you could use for per se, or if you do have manuals and pictures from the actual aircraft manual, then you should have what you need for the body all the way to like the wingtip, for example. That's what I had with the A220 when I did the wings. But I'm just gonna go ahead and use what I got, which are some pictures, and we're gonna go with the wingspan. First things first, we're gonna add a cylinder, 32 vertices again, rotate it along the y-axis. And actually from our top view, we're going to kind of scale it to what it should be. That starting at the back of the wing to the front. And we'll make sure it's centered, which it is. We'll add a loop cut in the middle. Delete this part. Actually, I'm going to work from the other side today. Delete one half, and then we're gonna do the mirror modifier, and then we'll shrink that down. Keep shrinking it, and then so you can see where that's gonna connect to the wing box there, and then up near the front, actually it doesn't look like it's gonna be quite that big, so shrink it a little more, maybe push it back a little. That looks a little better. Okay, so now this is all about getting the airfoil correct, which is difficult to do, to say the least. So I like to start with a point at the where the flaps are, and then kind of work my way up. Again, I'm just looking at pictures on my other monitor here. This won't be exact, it'll be kind of close, but not exact. And I'm sure I can find a better, or a diagram from the front of the airplane. But basically all we're doing here is just moving these vertices along the z-axis. Yeah, so lots of trial and error here, especially if you don't have the diagrams you would have anticipated. Lots of trial and error. So yeah, I'm just gonna shape this to what I think the wing is at for the most part. It definitely doesn't come up this high, although it may. So see, these are just some of the things you're gonna have to look at as you're doing it. I'm gonna go ahead and start the bottom just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Now the bottom usually starts out pretty flat, pretty horizontal, and then slowly works its way down, kind of like so, just so that those flaps can really grab into the wind. Along with the aerodynamics of the airplane. I think I might have made it a little bit thick up here. So we'll just adjust and adjust and whatnot. If we get around to it, we'll go ahead and do the wing box as well. If not, we'll do that in the next video probably. Don't worry about it being too smooth. We're gonna subdivide again. I know I do subdivide quite a bit, but it's a necessary step to get the wings looking nice. Definitely a necessary step there. Now, I think I can start to slope that down a bit. I think I went too far there. Maybe even too far here. So we'll kind of level it off there and then slowly work our way down. Maybe push that up a bit. And we'll call it right about there, I would think. That looks good. Let me just take a peek here. Based on the picture I'm using. It does look pretty good for the most part. And then the bottom needs a bit of work actually. Bottom needs some work, so we'll kind of flatten that out. And just adjust some of this. That might be a little better. And actually, if we look at this, definitely looks better. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. Always remember to apply your scale to everything you're making. And we're going to go ahead and look up the 787-9 wingspan, which is 60 meters. So, 60. 60? I don't know about 60. And let's take a peek. 60.12. It's not going to make much of a difference. Now keep in mind that our diagram could be a little bit out of scale. Something you should always keep an eye on. So always go by what the actual wingspan is. Never apply that to your aircraft. So what I'm actually going to do now is adjust this so that it does match up with that. That will probably also explain, oh, what did I do there? That'll probably also explain why I thought the wings were a little bigger, so we'll shrink them a little. Push that back. Push the wings back too, actually. Okay, so that's what we can work with now. Apply the scale again because we just transformed the sizing of it. I'm just going to shade smooth it here so we can kind of get underway. And then I'm going to make a loop cut. We're going to drag that loop cut in to wherever this starts to separate. So right about there. Now this is a step where you're going to have to go ahead and downscale that and then move it back so that it does line up with your previous mesh in the middle of the aircraft. So I would think about there. It's going to look ugly at first, that's for sure. And you can pull some of this out. You are going to have a wing box there, so don't worry about about pulling some of this out and it kind of looking ugly there near the fuselage. Pull that out to meet your scaling. I'm just going to scale it a little more. Pull it in close. There, yeah, so right there. Now we'll grab the, let's see, what is our wingspan at now? See, I just shrunk it. So go back there. 60.12 is what I said. 60.12. Cool. Now we're gonna go and just shrink that to about what the wing tip is gonna look like. It's obviously gonna be a lot skinnier at the wingtip, but I guess I can do that now, and then we'll raise it a decent amount. So already you can see that the wing shape is coming along, but we're not done yet. We gotta go ahead right to the end of the slats there, extend that out, make sure it's kind of all lining up to the way you want it, because if it's not, it ain't gonna look pretty. I think I'm good with that. And then you can slowly round it out and whatnot. Just keep increasing that scale. You know. Kind of like this. Slope it back. And just kind of all making sure that this is going to round out nicely. Kind of like so. So if you come back at the, up say a passenger view, about here. So yeah, you can see that the wing shape is coming along. I may have sloped it too far back actually. Maybe not, maybe. I don't think so. Yeah, just play with this for a little bit until you feel comfortable with where you're at with your progress, and you should be well on your way to completing the wings. That looks good to me. You can always add some more loop cuts in here if you want to just smoothen it out. I might do that here. Add another one, maybe one by the end. And you may have something like that where it doesn't transition nicely. There. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now what we're going to do, cut the ends off. Actually, I don't think there's a face here in the middle. Do not think so. Nope. Okay, so then from here, we're going to hit subdivide. Now this is going to kind of mess up your mesh a bit. So apply the mirror modifier, subdivide. It's gonna want to drag out this crease you made here. So we have two options. We can either alt left click this loop cut in edge mode. We can either edge crease it, which will hold that edge, or we could do what we did with the fuselage and drag those loop cuts into the others to keep them there. I think in this case I'm gonna just leave it like that with the edge crease. I will do the same to this side, and then back there. It's gonna add a couple more cuts. Let's look. I think that's fine. Looks good to me. So that's pretty much the wings done. For the shaping of them, at least. So yeah, what I'm gonna do now is, actually, I don't like this, so we'll grab, where was that cut we made? Right about there. We'll edge crease that too. Same thing on this side. That way the mesh stays the same. Apply the subdivision. Then from over here, actually, hold that thought. You can notice that it should be a little bit thicker over here. So if I just thicken that a little, yeah, that should be fine. And yeah, apply the subdivision. I'm just gonna save it. Now, one thing that the subdivision didn't resolve is this crease here. So hold on. Forget I did any of that. Let's go back here. Select this front edge point, same as there. Anywhere where we have a loop cut that isn't part of the subdivision, there as well, there as well, there, there. Lots of cuts in here I made. And there. Okay, now back to this area. We're just gonna go until that line goes away. You see it? So there. Now we look up back here. There might be a couple issues with the winglet. Maybe not. Actually, that's good. So hit apply. Now we'll come back to the winglet. Actually, there is a little bit of problems up in here. Kind of got flattened out completely, so yeah, so these are gonna want to actually just come out just to make sure they're not flat on the edges of the wing. That's bad there. Actually, yeah, that's not good at all, is it? Oops. So we're actually going to have to move some of these too. You can see there's a crease there. So then we drag these out. Yeah. These need to be fixed a little bit. As well as here, obviously. Okay, that's that. We're gonna go into the wing, make that a face again. Now on this side, on the other side, same thing. You could still grab a mirror modifier for this if you wanted to. I'm not going to bother, just because it's fairly quick. Yeah, so that's the basic wing shape done. Let's think now. Now we can move on to the Wingbox. So for the Wingbox, you can see where it starts. We're gonna go into the fuselage, grab our knife tool. Now we can always change where these are gonna go, and then just slowly work your way through here. Up and around. We're going to lose sight of it here in a second once we come overhead, so we'll just hit enter. We'll come around this side, do the same thing. Follow that wing box. Oops. Just follow it up and around. We can see that it actually does kind of cut off here. So I'm going to go to there. And then that is pretty much where it stops. Then it's going to do a couple dips and dives and whatnot. I'm going to need to find some pictures of that. Let's see what we can find. $787 has an interesting wing box. It's got a fair amount of contouring in it, actually. It's a good picture. Yeah, okay. We're going to use this. Build it up a little bit. This is going to make some weird artifacts in our mesh, however. I can just add some cuts in there if I need to. That ends about halfway through the wings, so where are we now? Halfway point. It's about here. So that's gonna slowly come back up. So you can kind of see where we're going with this, I hope. Actually, that one should not have been there. Let's go back. I'm just going to draw it from here so I can see a little better. That's actually going to come up a little steeper now that I look at it. We can always move these around. So I'm going to go with something like this. Okay. Good. Is that good? I think that's good. Yep, that'll do. So now you're gonna laugh at me for doing this. We're gonna mirror the entire airplane. Just to make sure the wing box is correct. I couldn't tell you what happened here. Just go ahead and select all these. Couldn't even tell you. Okay. Do I want to delete the vertices? If I delete the vertices, no, I don't want to do that. Delete edges. Might want to approach that slightly differently. Kind of like this. And then grab all of these coming out. It's probably easier for you to do this. I just messed up the nose there somehow. I have no idea how I did that. It's a very specific shape. You can skip forward a bit if you want. So there's all the edges gone. Now we'll hit mirror. Okay, that's good. Still all in one piece, nothing's missing. So yeah, so that's our Wingbox there. Now what we're gonna do is actually grab all these faces. There's definitely a couple here. Delete those faces. And then there's hardly even a gap here, which is interesting. We'll just make about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll probably only need 8 cuts. Drag them out just slightly. There's hardly even a lump here in the box. Kind of something like this. Now we'll grab them, duplicate them, drag them over to match with this cut, and then slowly start to fill those faces in. Just use a little cheat there by hitting F once you have an edge selected. Now if I select that all, it's going to do that. So I guess what you could do is lay out all of these first so that they are where you want them to be. What we're going to actually do is just slowly bend those out as we go along. I'll just do it this way. Why not? Maybe slower, maybe quicker. Who knows? We'll see. We can see the contouring of the Wingbox here, so we might start to follow that a little bit, kind of like so. Up a bit. So this is how I do my Wingboxes. It's a very simple way to do it, to be honest. And it turns out good. Yeah. This might take a while. But it's important that you get this correct because there's going to be a lot of changes coming. Yeah, so let me just think here. We'll just kind of slowly build it out. Ignore this diagram. That was something that I was using just for the cockpit windows, but I'm going to use it anyway. Even though it is tilted downwards, I'm going to use it anyway just to do the Wingbox here. Just kind of outlining what we have laid out for us. That'll go. This will go into that one. That will be for this. And that one is probably good. Just gonna stretch them out a little. Okay. So already you can kind of see the wing box taking shape there. Keep in mind that you probably will have to adjust these end bits a tiny little bit, just so they can sort of match up with the curvature. So like right here, that's a little sloppy. You can move that a little bit just to kind of match up with the mesh, which means we're going to have to drag this out a little. But you can see where we're going with this. We're going to match it all up at the top here in a bit. So again, same thing. This time it's going to slope in quite a bit, so I might actually angle that more in preparation for this guy, which is going to go right into there. I'm not going to mess too much with the with what I've got laid out. Now this is a good wing box to do because it's basically flat all the way across. No geometry is being changed up until about this point here, which is good because it'll just all go fluently right through the wing. Yeah, so that's great, especially if you're doing what we're doing here. With this wing shape, it really matches up good. So again, just keep grabbing these verts, moving them. This will probably be the last one we move, and then we'll kind of join them all together, going straight up vertically. Ignore the odd shading here. We're gonna shade smooth, or sorry, we're gonna not shade smooth. What's the word? Sharpen the border of the wing box here when we're done. Yeah, so now we can just actually grab this, move it up a few times. One, two, three, four. That one will come in quite a bit. And then actually that complements that pretty well. The back is gonna change just a little. So yeah, you can see this is just a technique I actually developed myself. I didn't grab this from anyone. I just thought, how can I make a better wing box based on the mesh I have already? And then I discovered this. It looks clean. It works very well. It doesn't cause any issues really ever. So yeah, it's all around just a great way to make these wing boxes. I know there's an actual name for a wing box, I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Let's see, where's that going to match up? So now I'm actually going to just go here and there, drag them down, merge those together. Good. And what can I do here? I've got this and that. Could do those four. make a cut there. Okay, yeah, so that's what we'll do. We'll grab that, connect it here. Those two will go there, those there. We'll make a cut there. See what we're doing here? Just making some cuts to make sure this mesh all kind of lines up good. And that can be a triangle, I guess. Why not? Okay. Something you may want to do is just check to see, or check to make sure that it lines up good in all areas. You may want to kind of make these stick out a little more, these edge pieces here, if you're going for the kind of bulkier look that the 8.7 does kind of have on the exterior wing box. Again, just grabbing these and moving them. That looks good in my view. Back here needs some work. So just bring these out so that they're all kind of in the right direction. There's no right and wrong here. I mean, it's all just your preference. I'm actually just going to get rid of this so I can see a little better. There is a face in there I need to bring out. And yeah, so I'm actually happy with that. I just moved that up a little bit, which I'll probably have to push in since I moved it. Yeah, right about there. Keep in mind this is all being mirrored to the other side, so there's no need to adjust a whole lot here. I'm just going to add a couple cuts just to kind of round this out a little better. And you could technically move that to make it a little bit more round. So maybe we'll just do that, kind of bring it down a bit. Yeah, good. Now we're going to select all of this, just the outside of this wing box. Edge, mark sharp. Now no one will be able to tell that it's a part of the fuselage. Now it kind of just brings its own shape in there. Yeah, so now it's visible. I do recognize that that may not be correct there. So find your diagrams, find your, I guess, pictures. That's all we can really go off of for the 8.7. Yeah, so that is not correct. So I will, actually, let's get rid of this bottom. Move that back a bit. Move that back a bit. It's kind of more like that. And then the front is actually pretty good. I'm going to leave the front. Yeah, so that's the wing box and the wings. I'm still not really pleased with how this turned out. I like the shape of the windows, but I'm not too keen on the way they kind of merge into the fuselage. So let's see if I can fix that really quick. If not, I'll do it behind the scenes and we'll kind of pick up from that. I know there's a way to do this. don't want that one. Actually, I might. If I rotate you, that looks better. Now that angle's messed up, but probably change that with a couple clicks. Let's see, where's it bad? It's bad down here, so I'm just gonna adjust this ever so slightly. That actually turned out pretty good. I don't want this one. It's a bad picture. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go with that. I'm actually just gonna go delete this half of the windows, mirror it over again just so that that's flush. There's still some editing to do there, but that's probably going to be the hardest part of the entire model, is just transitioning that into the rest of the body. Apply that mirror modifier, and you can see that the Wingbox has taken shape. And the mesh is clean, so it's going to be easy for you to put, I don't know, gear doors and whatnot in there. You can probably even clean it up even more, but yeah. So that's where we're gonna end off for the day, I think. Again, it's just making sure you have that wing profile correct. Mine's probably not correct, but I did what I could based off of the information I had. And yeah, that's looking good. We're gonna do the next episode. We're gonna do the what are we gonna do? I don't know. We'll do something in the next episode there. I'm just thinking that tail. We'll have to do the tail in the next episode, and the elevators. Tail, elevators, and we might get started on the engines. If not, we'll do the passenger windows. But yeah, that's where we're at for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out my website, link in the description. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're new, please. That would be very much appreciated. I'm kind of trying to make this modeling thing a soft-ish job for now, and then we'll see what goes from there. But yeah, I'm out.